Well, hey everyone, this is Grace of gbmaltese, and I hope you're doing finer than frogs here. I thought I would do a little whip and chat. It's been a little bit crazy around here the last couple of weeks. The weather has been crazy. You know, we just got into March, but in February we were in 80-degree weather. And first part of March, same thing. Today we're going to be 80. There have been a few days that were in the 60s. I'm just like, Lord help me. I can't take this. And it wouldn't be so bad, I guess, if the humidity wasn't some days 92, 95%. So it has been playing real fun tricks on my allergies and asthma. So there were some days it's like I want to get on here and make a video, but sometimes, you know, the mind is willing and the body is weak, or maybe not the body, but maybe it's the voice or the breathing, or, you know. I know a lot of you suffer from different things, and it's just been a little crazy. And then there's been other crazy stuff going on that I can't really talk about. I'm just going to, I've said this before, the last, I guess, at least 3 years have just been crazy in my family. A lot of family issues going on, and it's private. Just like when you have family problems, you don't want to air it all out there. But if you could spare a thought and a prayer for me and my family, I would so appreciate it. We've got some things that may be coming to a head soon, and I'm hoping that that's gonna get us on a more even keel. Can do is hope and pray. So anyway, I thought, let's just get on here. My throat's not hurting. I don't have anything I have to get out and go do today. Just gonna sit here in diamond paint and enjoy you guys. You have no idea how much your messages mean to me. I have some of you reach out to me when I haven't made a video in a while, and I appreciate that so much. And I'm sorry. Sometimes it's just too much for me to get the camera out, get everything cleaned up and cleaned off, and get things set up for a video. But I'm going to do my best. I truly am. And your kind words and thoughtfulness mean the world to me. So, I have been still go and do my volunteer work at the library. I do that one day a week, and I get to be with kids who are, some of them are about a year old. There's maybe one that's that age, or two, because they have an older brother or sister. So most of them are between the ages of 2 and 4. And they're just, that's one thing that can get my mind off of things. We do a little dancing, I do a little reading, we do a craft, and I really enjoy it. The kids are so funny. You're liable to get them to say pretty much anything. And the moms or the grandma, or we even have one dad who comes with his wife. They own their own business, so he's able to come. And it's just really nice. So if you know, you're sitting at home, and because this is what was happening to me. I'd be at home, and I'm like, oh, I can't stand this anymore. And so I went to the library, ask if they could use any help, and they have this children's program, and the young lady who runs it, she said yeah, she could use a volunteer. So she lets me pretty much do the whole thing. She will plan the craft or whatever, and she'll have books that I can choose from to read to the kids, and the kids provide the entertainment, if you ask me. One of the songs I really like doing is the Hokey Pokey, and I'm going to tell you something, these kids are getting it down, and they are loving it, and the parents are liking it. Some of them will even get up and do it with me. I've had to do a few songs that Taylor is the one who's in charge of the program. Sometimes she'll have a new song for us to do. I do the Hokey Pokey when she's not there, and I don't have the music she has. So I sub for her. She's been having some problems, and the last one, when she was there, she had a new song, and let me tell you something. It wasn't made for me. One of the parts is, it starts out a little bit slower and then it gets faster, but you have to touch your toes, and you got to hold on to your toes, and you move around while you're holding on to your toes. Well, I have to kind of squat the best I can or whatever to hang on to them toes, and my movement is just moving my feet maybe back and forth or up and down. There isn't any dancing at all going on, and the kids get a kick out of it. And then when I was able to just hold on to my knees, hey, we're getting better. Then we get to the shoulders, and yeah, I can start moving now. Woohoo! Yeah, let's do the jive turkey. And then the chin and the head and so on. So it was pretty cool until, the only part is, I told Taylor, I said, you must be trying to kill me. When it came out with the foot, with, the toe part, I said, I will just be doing it down here, and I'll just be maybe tapping my little toes a little bit. But it's I get a little bit of a workout doing that. When I do the Hokey Pokey with them, sometimes I'll go ahead and do that because they'll want to do it because they know that one, and they can do it because I do it. I do it nice and slow because at that age, it takes time for them to realize, the right foot and the left foot and blah, blah, blah. And I, of course, have to put my left foot out when we're talking about the right so that they're doing their right foot. And if I hadn't taught school all them years, I might not have even thought about doing, that being a problem. But yeah, they will learn right and left wrong if you don't do the opposite when you're faced across from them. So we have a good time with that. And I get a kick when we're doing some of the crafts. Some parts of the crafts the moms have to help them with. When there's a lot of cutting or whatever. It's really cute. The kids will have to color something. And you have some kids who pick all kinds of colors. And then you have some, their favorite color may be purple or pink or green. They want to color the whole thing in that color. But it's not just all drawing pictures and coloring. They make things with it. So it's fun. The kids enjoy it. And I've been enjoying it. I tell you that much. That's when the day gets here, because it's on Thursday mornings, I'm thinking, gosh, I really don't want to go. I have to really talk myself into it. I've almost become a hermit. And I get up, I go, I get there, and I'm so happy I've done it, and I feel so much better afterwards. I'm like, yeah, I did something today. I actually did something. So, that's good. So, if you're just, sitting around and you're able to get out, I know some people, there are some days that I'll have to call and say, hey, I'm not breathing real great today. Having problems with my asthma. I really can't make it. But I do it the best I can. I'll use my inhaler and hope that'll just carry me on. Gone out the door. But yeah, go check around at places if you're thinking, you know, you're like me. I don't, you know, my friends are pretty much you guys. You know, when you're working, you have people you work with, but since I retired from teaching, I don't see people like that every day, and so you get out of the loop. So you guys are my buddies. You're my friends. I so enjoy when you write something to me, and it just brightens my day. Now, if you tell me, now if you say something ugly to me, it's not going to brighten my day, but not very many people do that, and I appreciate that. Very seldom. It's been a while. So, and I'm just going to erase it anyway, because I can't allow something like that to bother me. So, I think people like that are just having a miserable time themselves, and they just want to make somebody else feel miserable. And I'm just like, I just can't let that happen. I can't do that. No, no, no. But, my husband, we have a flower bed, and I think I've told y'all this before. I used to keep it so nice and pretty and neat, and he said the birds like it better when it's in its wild condition. Alright, so, yeah, I don't go out and pull weeds and stuff anymore, and it just grows wild. So the bushes and things are just really big. Well, in the wintertime, all that dies back, and those bushes need to be cut down so that they can start anew in the spring. So he went out there and he was doing that. And I've always told him, when you do that, you need to come in and take a shower right away, because we've got poison ivy in this area, a lot of it, and it's awful. Well, he didn't do that, and yeah, he ended up with poison ivy on both arms, between fingers, on some uneven on his belly. I don't know how he did that, because he had a shirt on. So yeah, he's been enjoying that quite a bit. He's going on his he's had it for a week, so now he's going on his second week, so it's getting a little bit better. But yeah, he said, I have a friend with me today. He would call me for work from something. I'm like, well, who's there? And he said, Mr. Ivy. And I said, what, who? Mr. Ivy. And I said, oh, poison ivy? Yeah, he pulls these little funny stunts every so often. He thinks it's funny. He must not have been itching bad enough if he could joke about it like that. Times I've had poison ivy, ooh, I am highly allergic. And if I get it too bad, I'll have to go to the doctor to get a shot to try to dry some of it up, because putting the different medications on it doesn't help. And it will be everywhere. It's been several years, knock on wood, that it stays away since I've had it. But yeah, I've gotten it and got a shot, and then have to go back a few days later because it's still not drying up. I don't know if any of you guys deal with, some people call them chiggers or red bugs. They're tiny little microscopic insects. And they, I guess, live in the grass or weedy areas. So, yeah, Jerry has, we noticed some, we just call them red bug bites on, they like to get in the crevices, like behind your knees. Yeah, some of that. I'll never forget one time we went for a walk, and I tell you what, we went walking through an area where some of the grass was pretty high. Well, yeah, I got into the red bugs. And not only were they, you know, behind my knees, they got under my breasts. Yeah, you know, anything that they can kind of snuggle up in, that's where they like to go. And I will never forget, because I was still teaching school, I would kind of duck down under my desk and try scratching because it was horrible. You try all kinds of things to keep it from itching, and this doesn't work. So yeah, here I am bent over. This was when I was teaching 3rd grade, and I just, you know, try to get over to my desk and kind of almost crawl up underneath it to try to get a little relief. That's miserable. And you know, you gotta wear a bra. So it was so entertaining. Like Jerry always says, when he has, you know, chiggers or poison ivy, he's always got a friend with him. I don't find that very amusing, but he does. The chiggers and poison ivy are the enemy. Ooh. And I'm telling you, you just want to claw yourself to pieces. And then, of course, you get sores. And so you do your best not to. Now, there is one thing that we found. We had seen it on some show. They said to get water, either in the shower or, you know, if it's on your arms, you can put it under the sink. And to get the water as hot as you can possibly stand it. And you put those areas under that hot water for a couple of minutes, as long as you can stand it. And it will itch really badly when you first do it. I mean, you can hardly stand it. But the longer it's under there, it stops itching, and you will not itch for a little while afterwards. So there would be times that, you know, I just have to get in that shower and say, come on, heat it up. We got to stop this itching. Too bad I didn't have a little shower I could have used up there at the school. Kids, I'll be back. I'll be right back. Y'all just hang in there. Ooh. And there's another thing about talking about school. Because you have to have really hot water for this to work. Well, evidently, you know, at the school, you don't have hot water. They don't turn it on. So you go into, you know, most of the restrooms, there's no hot water. I guess maybe they do that to keep kids from burning themselves. I don't know. But, yeah, no relief there. Like, man, cheap little old thing. Oh, yeah, the things we have to do sometimes in order to go to work or do other things that we're required to do can be quite, can be difficult sometimes, if you know what I mean. So, and you know, you just do your best. How many of you have had really bad bouts with poison ivy? Are there any of you out there that are immune to it? I have heard that there are some people who've never had it. And I don't know if it grows everywhere, you know, during spring and summer. Here, we get it in the winter. But considering, you know, we're 80-degree temperatures. Yeah, some of my worst cases have been, I've gotten in February or March. Just awful, because you're thinking, oh well, you know, it's not out right now. Oh yes, it is. It's there, and it's just waiting to climb you. Oh, this is another funny thing talking about poison ivy. My daughter Catherine, this is when she was little. All of us, me, Jerry, Catherine, all of us had gotten into poison ivy. We'd gone out to the state park. And we were playing hide and seek with our dog. You know, one of us would hold the dog, and the other two of us would would go hide and see if he could find us. Well, yeah. Something else found us too. Mr. Ivy. So, all of us ended up having to get shots because it was so bad, and to get it to dry up a little quicker. Catherine and I, we were big girls, and we got ours done. And then Jerry came in for them to do his, because it was in the hip. And Catherine and I were standing outside the door, you know, and we could hear Jerry and I go, oh, that hurts. Oh, I'm like, oh my gosh. Catherine didn't even do that. She was young. It was funny though. He's a big old baby when it comes to shots and things. He doesn't care for that too much. So I'm out there laughing. I think it's hilarious. Yeah, I told him I hurt him. I said, that's pretty funny, Jerry. Well, it hurt. And I'm like, we had the same shot, Jerry. Yeah, it did sting a little bit, but it wasn't that bad. You know, when your sibling does, when your spouse or sibling or anybody does something, you can't let them forget about that. I haven't told him that one in a while. Oh, but yeah, he always has to take up and say, well, it did. You know, it did sting. Oh, he should have to get some of the shots I've had. The one that really, when I'm trying to think with the shot, Depomedrol is the one that I get sometimes when I'm having trouble breathing and I keep losing my voice. Now that one really does sting. And it has to be in the hip because it's very thick and it has to be in a big muscle. And I've had to get those every so often. Now Jerry had to get one of those. I'd hate to see what he would do, because that one is thick and it takes a little while for him to get it in there. But hey, the relief is fantastic. My nurse, I had a wonderful nurse. She's retired now, but she would tell me, now make sure you stand on the opposite leg of where you're going to have the shot. So if you're going to get a shot in the left hip, put the weight on your right leg. And I tell you, that did help, you know, to keep it from being sore afterwards. And it still, you know, still had that little stinging action going on. But it did help where it wasn't quite as sore when we were done. So I tell you what, those nurses, I tell you what, if you're a nurse out there, you've got any recommendations, I am wholeheartedly in agreement to listen. It's amazing that really did help. I didn't, because at night I would go to lay on one side and my butt was hurt. And I'm like, oh, I'm going to have to lay on the other side because I couldn't lay on that hip. So that really did help. So keep that in mind next time you have to have one of them butt shots. Stand on the opposite leg. You're going to get this shot in. Tell them, okay, I want it on this side. And I just stand there, pull that side of my pants down. Just go ahead. Let's get it over with. And Jerry has such a little tiny butt. I've got plenty to aim at. He doesn't have quite as much. Maybe that's the reason it bothered him more. I don't know. Because he's not a wimp. He's not. But when it comes to something like that, he's not too happy with it. Don't tell him I told you. Oh my goodness. Oh, we have a bunch of purple martins here now. And if you've been following me for a while, you know that my husband puts, there's special houses that the martins live in. They live in, they like gourds, and he has designed in some for the martins also. And they stay here for several months. Right now they eat flying insects. So you don't really feed them. He does put eggshells out, because they do eat a lot of eggshells when it comes time to lay eggs, and they need that extra calcium, and sometimes they'll eat it ahead of time. And he's lost count now. We were counting, I think, like 15 or 16, but a whole bunch have come in. So when they are flying around, they're just it's like a bunch of insects up there. You can't count them. So I have no idea how many we have now, but it's a lot. And he loves his purple martins, I tell you. He sits outside in the evening to watch them come in, because they'll come in when it starts getting kind of dark, and they go into their own little houses. They pair up, male, female. Now when it comes to nesting time, the male and female, if they haven't partnered up yet, the males are doing their darndest to impress the females, and sometimes you will see them get in a fight. They'll be up in the air flying, all of a sudden you see them lock, they're going like this all the way almost to the ground. You're thinking, oh my gosh, they're going to hit the ground, but they let loose and start flying. I'm like, y'all are crazy. So yeah, they want to get the attention of the female. It's interesting, and they're out there singing their little song, little hearts out, to get them a female who will come into their house. And let me tell you, once the male and female, we're getting close now to mating and nesting time. If there are a male and a female in one of the houses, and a male tries going in there, he's in trouble. They will, the male will chase his little honey out. He's not allowed. Like, don't you come in here messing with my woman. So, it's quite interesting. He keeps saying he's going to put one of those little cameras in there so he can watch them on the inside. There's a lot of people that do that. So, that's something he's thinking about doing, so he can keep an eye on them and see when the birds hatch and watch them close. But if you are interested in learning more about purple martins, look online. They do, it's the adults who will come back to your spot every year. Maybe 5% or 10% of the babies who hatched will come back to the same colony where they were hatched, but most of them go other places. You don't want a lot of interbreeding going on, so that is done as a nature's safety precaution or whatever, I don't know. So, because you don't want inbreeding, because that would mess up with genetics, I guess. I don't know a whole lot about that stuff. I just listen to Jerry. He talks about it all the time. If you want to hear about purple martins, if I put him on here and let him talk, he could talk to you, and you had questions, he could talk here for days. I mean days. This is terrible. It may sound terrible, but sometimes when he's talking, I tune it out because he's repeated himself, and I've heard it. And he'll say something like, huh? I'm sorry, I was looking at something else. And he doesn't get upset, because he knows that we've got him several shirts. My daughter got him one that says the Purple Martin Whisperer. We've gotten all kinds. I got a shirt. One of us got a shirt. I don't remember which one it says. It says, may start talking about birds. Something to that effect. And I said, I'm going to go through and I'm going to cross out the may, and I'm going to put will talk about birds. And, you know, no, they don't have to be asked. If he sees someone in there buying bird seed or getting a hummingbird feeder, because, yeah, he puts those out. We have all kinds of birds. The purple martins have to have, they depend on man to put houses up. The Indians were the first to have purple martins come stay in their villages. So, from what I understand, they kind of use them as almost like a watchdog or something, because if something came around, they'd let out the cry. So this is something that there are many people, there are Facebook groups about purple martins, and you can read all about what they have to say. Jerry's very particular that he puts special things out to keep snakes from climbing up and eating the martins and their babies, because they will do it. It happened one year. I think it was the first year Jerry ever did it, and this is many, many years ago. A big old rat snake got up in the house. They climbed straight up this pole and ate every single egg that was in 4 different spots. It was awful. Well, they don't do it anymore. He's got, I guess you could almost say triple snake guards on his things. He puts these long metal things on there that the snake can't get itself around, and then he's got bird netting that goes out that it will get caught up in, and he also has an electric fence wrapped around the bottom, so if the snake starts even to climb, it'll shock him, and it throws him back. So if they can get past the shocking part, they're not going to be able to get up the other part, because he has that safe and secure. He takes this job very seriously. So that's my hubby for you. Nothing's going to get his babies, as long as he can help it. Okay, let's see. Changing colors, so I have to look and see. I saw 4 in a row. Oh, here's they are. There's one. I love it when I'm able to multi-place some. I used to hate multi-placing until I got these everlasting tips with these curved over. Oh my gosh, that is a total game changer. I'll put a link to her shop. She's only open. She's open during Australian time from Monday to Thursday or Friday. But yeah, you can go on there. But these will last forever. There is no, you've seen some of these. If it's not everlasting tips and you don't get them off of Etsy, you're not getting the right thing. And those other ones are cheap. They're not well made like this. These are going to last forever, and I cannot say enough good things about them. They are all I use. And I have a straight tip on this end, single placer, and I also have a curved one that I use sometimes. It just depends on my mood which one I want to use. But let me tell you, this thing right here, I used to hate multi-placing, but now I'm like, yes, this is so easy. You know, I can pick up, this will hold 4. She's got some that will hold a bunch more, but I tend to just go for a fewer amount, because they tend to go straighter for me. And normally I don't have just huge sections of more than that. You know, a 5-placer, yeah, that would be fine too, but I love this 4-placer. I think she used to have 2-placer, 3-placer. You name it, you go over there, you can find it. And in this, the multi-placer, I use this Quake Hold. It's fabulous. And in my single placer, I use the micro glue dots. That's all I use. And I've been using these for, I don't know, a couple of years. I have not had to replace it. None of it. It'll last you a long time. I used to get all the, different kinds of things, but let me tell you, this is all I want to use now. because I can diamond paint for hours. Well, even days. I use the same, what I have in here. Yes, started using it yesterday. It's still going. Strong. Going strong. Well, I probably leaned on your ear long enough today. I just wanted to talk to you, and just all these things just came flying out. I never know what's going to come out when I decide to do a whip and chat with you guys, and I hope to see you again real soon. I know I've been wanting to do my Christmas tree, the amigurumi Christmas tree, because if you're going to do one, you really need to start them now and not wait till it's almost Christmas. And they can also, you can use different colors yarn, and you could do it for the 4th of July. You could do it for Halloween. I mean, sky's the limit. But I always start getting, I guess I get kind of nervous because, you know, when you're putting it together, sometimes you think, I'm going to make a stupid mistake. But hey, if I do, you'll learn from it. I mean, I've made 2 of them, and I've got all the pieces ready because I can't show you how to make it. It is a paid-for pattern, which I will give you when I show it to you. And I'll show you how to put it together, and if you like, I will show you how I decorated it in a separate video. So for now, I'm going to bid you adieu, and I love you. You take care of yourselves. God bless you. And I'll see you next time. Bye for now.